Alrighty, guys, it's time for this week's budget review, and we also get to review the month of March since it's officially completed. Easter was yesterday, so we are a day late here. And again, for those of you who are new, I picked the Hemlock and Oak 2024 Daily Planner from a budget planner. I absolutely love this planner. I think it's gorgeous, and it just meets all of my budgeting needs. So they start out with this 1 year at a glance. Again, I just use this as my dashboard. I'm still waiting for my credit score to update, by the way. The last one they had was the February 20th, and I thought for sure that I would have got like the update on March, so I'm kind of curious to see, what happened. So that's why we haven't done anything with this. So what I do is, of course, I have all the paydays. They're highlighted in green. All the holidays, birthdays, those are purple. Large amounts of money in are yellow. Orange are the vehicle expenses. And what we see here in the red are the focus accounts, because I am paying off all of my credit cards. So whenever I focus on one because I'm doing the snowball method, and when I actually get one of those paid off, I just highlight it on the little calendar, and then that way I can kind of see what's going on for the month. So that's pretty much it for this one. I go into more detail in like the setup and that, but again, this is just a review. Another thing that I'm trying out this year is this holiday plans page. Really, I have no idea what I spend on the holidays. So what I did is I just created a little quick sheet here, and when the holiday comes up, I'm going to document what I got for the holiday and the cost, and then that way I kind of have an estimate for next year. So I was actually really surprised with Easter. I didn't think that I spent that much for Easter, so I mean, I seriously thought it was like $30-$40, guys. It was almost 60. Another thing that I do is this 2 years at a glance page. Normally this page wouldn't have piqued my interest until last year is whenever I started doing this. But what I do is I use, it's the Debt Payoff Planner app or stebit.com. I do have it linked in the description down below. But what you do is you take all of your information, like all of your accounts and that, and you plug them in, and it gives you a little debt payoff. I always say journey, but I don't know. It's like really simple to use. Basically, it takes all of your accounts. It will list all of your accounts in order from the smallest to the largest to give you the avalanche method. You could choose no, that's the snowball method. I'm sorry, guys. You could use the avalanche method of where it's highest to lowest. I believe that has to deal with the APR as well. That one is supposed to save you money, but for someone like me, I mean, I've been paying the interest for years now. I mean, like, we've been going on 10 years, okay? So, like, one more year isn't going to really hurt me. I more or less, I need the motivation, so that's why I picked Snowball. Another thing that I like about this is that it does let you customize as well. You could move the accounts in any order that you want them to. That especially helps if you have a 0% offer, so you could bump that one up before it's, done. So yeah, no, I take the information from that. I put it on the bottom of the month that it's projected to be paid off. And then I highlight the weeks as I'm paying on each of those accounts. And that kind of gives me just a, insight on how long does it take to pay these accounts off. And like how this actually helps, which I'm actually surprised that it does. But like, okay, so we could see here it took me 7 weeks to pay this first account off. Well, I'm already on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going on to the 7th week for this account, and in one way it does feel like, it's like taking forever to pay this account off. And then at the same time I can quickly see, like, yeah, this account is twice as much as that one, so it is going to probably take twice as much as, as what the first one did. So that kind of gives me a little goal here of, 14 weeks should be about the rough estimate that it takes to pay this thing off. But, I'm going to see if I could do it in, 10, if I could do it in 12. So it kind of like, I don't know, it gives you like a little challenge. I don't know, it works for me. Okay, another problem that I was having last year and continuously this year still is the difference between needs and wants. I now understand the difference between needs and wants, because you can seriously sit and say that you want something so bad that, like, you need it, but you really don't. And I try to use life or death as my measuring here of, are you going to die if you don't get it? And it's like, no. So that's when it turns into a want, because it just makes life a little bit more enjoyable if you have it. Another thing is I'm trying my best to pay my car off this year. So that's also in this mix as well. And again, all of these cute little sheets here, these are from thedebtfreecharts.com. They're made by Heidi Nash, who just makes absolutely wonderful little trackers. This was just something extra. Do I want to purchase a house someday? Yes. But we got to pay the debts off first. So again, it's just kind of letting me know, like, hey, it just keeps you motivated as to why we're doing this, why it's important to get all the debt down, because at the end of the day, I want to, start doing nice things. So, we had our first round with Tetris last year. I was able to get approximately 10,000 paid off of my cards, so that was kind of cool. The other thing that surprised me was how quickly interest can add up. So, I really thought that I would be starting at a lower amount, but of course, the interest does do its thing. And I did have a 0% card, which was the Discover card, and I was trying to get it paid off before the end of the year, and of course I didn't. So I did get hit with the interest on that as well. But again, we're making progress this year, and of course I took the information from this again. All of the accounts are listed from smallest to greatest. Again, I'm doing the snowball. There are no 0% offers for this year, so that kind of helped make things a little bit easier when listing them. And I also total up how much I pay per month, and then that's how I figure out how many pieces I can put on the Tetris board here. And another thing is last year I was coloring them in only at the end of the month. This year I'm coloring them in every week as we go. It's actually really, like, motivating me a wee bit more. The one thing that I was concerned about is that I am paying less, and I'm not quite sure why or how I'm paying less. But I need to pick that number back up. So that's one thing that I noticed when I was going through this, because it's like, it shouldn't be fluctuating that much there. So, let's see here. So we had March, lovely March, and I'm trying to think of where we would have been when I last left Yins, and that would have been the 24th. So let's get to the 24th here, and I'll explain, well, because we're going to be ending on the 31st anyways. Okay, so again, with the, the monthly, I just do the projected pay dates for the bills and that. All of my mandatory, or I guess they would be fixed expenses. I'm not really quite sure of, like, the clear terminology here, guys. I am not a budgeter or a financial expert. I'm just trying to pay my bills off, right? So, what I do is with the ones that I know that they're going to be due on a certain day and they're typically the same amount, I list those in a specific color. So we could see for March, it's that tan color, and for April, it's yellow. Those are also ones where, you'll get a late fee. Bad things are going to happen if you don't pay those on time. And then I also have another set of what I call due dates. These are the optionals. These technically better my financial situation. So that would be my $5 a day savings goal. So, we had 31 days. That's 155. So I just split it into 75 and 80. So again, that's my daily savings goal. April's a little bit more cleaner because it's 30 days, so that's 30 times 5, so that's 2 easy payments of 75. Another thing I try to do is not to use the credit cards because again, it's very difficult to pay down the credit cards if you're trying to use the thing at the same time. So yeah, we could see March was not a good month. But any day that I don't use the card is a good day. So we're moving on, guys. It'll happen. It'll happen. And I mean, I'm not somebody who's going to be like, never used a card. I still like using the cards for the rewards and the cash back and that. The trick is to only use the card if you have the money in the bank to pay it that day. All right, that's the trick here. And of course, going back to this here, these other things that are highlighted in green, those are my additional payments towards my Focus account. So I always do an extra payment of $50 every Sunday. Then that way that gives me, typically there's 4 Sundays, there was 5 in this month, but it gives you an additional $200 onto that account instead of just paying the minimum. So let's get to this daily here. And again, guys, I highly recommend this planner. You could pack so much into this thing. It's just gorgeous. It makes budgeting a lot better. Makes you actually want to go to it. So when I left Yins, it was kind of funny because the Focus account is Chase. So the minimum was due, which was $50, and of course I have that additional payment. So even though I had that minimum payment due on Sunday, I still made the extra payment because, any payment's better than no payments, right? Because we want this debt to be paid down. So I got to do both of those. And I was actually smart enough to put money back into the savings for gas. Because that's really what's been kicking me. It seems like I need to refill my tank like 2 days right before payday, and then that's what's causing me to bring out the credit card. That's been the most consistent one. So I did put back funds, so then that way when I need to get gas here, probably next week, probably like Wednesday or Thursday, I will have it. Because I'm tired of that happening. Monday was another good day just because, like, it wasn't a good day at work, and I did stay busy in the house, like, doing housework and that, so that stopped me from online browsing. But, yeah, work just sucked. But, again, it kept me off the phone, so there was no time to spend, okay? Like, I'm finding that, like, when I'm bored, that's when I doom scroll, and that's when I make poor choices. So that's how I'm incorporating this schedule into this whole budgeting thing, because it's letting me know when I spend, what are my danger hours, and I've pretty much broken myself out of the habit of doom scrolling in the morning. Between these ones, I'm going to say 7 to 12 would have been the worst time for me to online shop, so there is no online shopping at all during those hours now. I'm a little bit smarter down here, so I don't make bad purchases. This is when I go to the store and make bad purchases. So yeah, see, even just keeping a schedule here can help you save money. Okay, so yeah, going on to Tuesday, which feels like, oh my God, it feels like a lifetime ago. So yeah, no, I only had a 3-day work week. I only had to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So the main thing was just getting through the week. And normally I give myself a rule where it's got to be $3 or less whenever I go out to eat for break. It is possible. I do it every week. But I figured since it's only 3 days, I was like, okay, as long as I stay within my $15 limit for eating out, that I'll be fine. So I did splurge a little at the Burger King, and of course we had one last day before I went on spring break, which I'm a hermit, guys. I really don't go anywhere, so this was like my last time out in the world while on spring break. And yeah, so I made my final trip to Sheetz, and picked up some milk, and of course splurged a little bit at Burger King. But other than that, that was me saying ready to hibernate. Um, but, um, oh my God, I didn't write the time. Okay, yeah, see? See, I never wrote the time. I'm trying to find my pen, guys. So, like I said, early morning is whenever I'm more likely to spend online. And of course, I'm waking up on my first day of spring break and I'm going, oh man, I got a whole week where I'm off and I get to do things. And guess what Sally did? Sally went on to Walmart.com and decided that she's going to update her bathroom. So, again, where I have time, I'm not busy. And, I was on the phone during danger hours. Am I happy with how the bathroom is starting to turn out? Yes, I am. It's looking lovely. Uh, did I have the funds? Not really. So it did go on the card. Again, it's difficult to pay off credit card debt when you're using the cards, but I mean, it's real life, guys. It's going to happen. This is another one. Let's see here. He would have came to pick up Ray at this time. It would have been right after he left. So that is when I ordered the fan, because we did need a new fan. Ray killed that poor thing. And then I went to Giant Eagle with Bill. And of course we had to go to Lowe's to pick it up because that was online. And let's see here, I also made another Sheetz run, but I did need to go to Sheetz. And I need to mark that one as well, that was online. So again, this is how I'm noticing, like, really, like, normally 12's like the cutoff, but Bill enticed me. Bill's also a spender, so he kind of convinces me to spend when I shouldn't. Did I need the fan? No. Was the fan broke? Yes, but we could still use the bathroom without the fan, right? Toilet being broke, different thing. You need the toilet. Fan, not so much. It's more of an aesthetics. So yeah, that's $150 that I have to fix here in the first week of April. I did get the Easter dinner again, like I told you. I was actually really surprised with how much that came out to be, but then again, I was shopping with Bill. So, I'd like to think that I stuck to the list, but then again, I did buy double of what I needed. So, Easter could have been around $30-$40, but, the tummy was bigger than what we needed it to be. Fortunately, Saturday, I stayed busy enough at home because, I had all the toys to play with in the bathroom there. I got to get the painting and installing toilet seats and installing fans. So that type of stuff. So it just pretty much kept me occupied. I had the planners and that because we were setting up. So that is a no spend day. Again, I'm learning that when I'm bored, when I'm stressed, when I'm anxious, that's when I tend to spend. So that's what this whole little journaling area is up here. That's how I'm learning the emotional aspects of what debt does to me. And of course, I always do, there's a mid-month review, which would have been here. So this is the mid-month review. And then, of course, I total everything up at the end. And it just gives me a little general view here of, you know, how much I brought in, how much I saved for the month, how much I spent, and how much I paid towards my debts. Again, I had that final payment towards Chase there. And this is another new thing that I started this year. So Hemlock and Oak also has these little wonderful things. They were having a nice sale, so I decided to try them. So what I do is I keep these sticky notes in here, and every week I total up what I spent. So let's see here, it's still the 1st, so I never actually set this one up yet. So what I do, and again, these are sticky notes, so I freaking love these things, guys. So April is a nice and even month. So I just write the day of the week there, and we can see that we already had rent. Ray pays half of it, so I pay the other half. And the other thing that I did today would have been health insurance. And I know it seems silly to like rewrite it, but what this does is at the end of the week, like I said, I just keep totaling it up, and since it's a sticky note, it could just keep moving along with me. But at the end of the week, I just store these back here, and then that way at the end of the month, I get a nice general view of what I'm spending in each of the categories. So I'm going to bring this guy back out here. He can go right about here. Oh, April's looking lovely, guys. I feel like this might be the month where we kind of get everything back to how it's supposed to be. But what I like about these, which normally, like, I could tape them in here, but I like having them out free floating because it gives me like that nice little view of how things are moving along. And like, it's a little bit higher than what January was with the home expenses, but we're back to what January was, where in February it seems like it's the subscriptions that were getting me, so that's nice that I wasn't surprised by a lot of those. The transportation, I still can't figure out how I made it the whole way through February with only $42 for gas. Okay, we had 150 in January, and it was only 90 for March. What really added on to March was the $30 I needed for oil. And I did notice that my car insurance did go up. Like, why? $4 more? Come on, man. Food. Because I know this has been a big thing. I've been seeing this a lot on Instagram. My food really, apparently if you would have asked me where I spend the most in my categories, I would have, like, I'd always tell you food, because I feel like I spend so much. But, like, we could really see, my coffee output. I've pretty much tamed that. It was 100 in January, 70 in February, and, what did I have? 58. I feel like it wasn't 58. I feel like it should be 15. I have those split. Yeah, those are, okay, those are the right numbers. Well, here, guys, you get to see how I break out and use the white label paper, because those are written incorrectly. Let me see if I can find a nice strip. I can't believe it. Hold on. Like I said, I'm surrounded by it. It's just you gotta find one that's the appropriate size, because I really don't feel like cutting a whole new one here. Okay, so I do know coffee's 15, so we're going to write what the holiday is in first. And oh my god, I got hair everywhere. Okay, so I got 58. 61. It took me 2 times to write this sheet. Like, I cannot write for the life of me today. So, that's all it was, is I just had it written in a different order when I originally did it, and then I swapped them because I noticed that coffee was not in the order that I wanted it. So, yeah, it was not $58 for coffee. It was 15. So, like I said, I've actually done really good in that category there. What else did I notice from this? The dining out. Even, like, I would have told you, like, you know, because most people are like, oh, if you're dining out, you're overspending in that. And it's like, no. Like, it's this March was pretty similar to January over here. So, you know, which, even like I said, like, it's less. It's $337. This was $365. February was a lot for food. I'm not quite sure why, because there's, like, no celebrations in February, but okay. Bert was my hot topic in February again. So, going back to how much I spent per month paying off the debts, you kind of get like a nice little view here of, like, okay, these are factoring in, because when money's going into these different categories, it means it's not going into your debt payments. Let's see here. Oh, what else do we got here? The other thing that, like, I don't want to use the word anger, but I was a little disappointed in myself. It was the 256 in self-care once. Like I said, like, I'm spending more in the personal category than I was for keeping the house. And again, like, March seemed to be a twin of January. And again, the same thing happened here, was the 286. Like, I'm spending more on ones than I am on rent. Like, no, Sally, no. So, yeah. I did spend about $50 more on Marl. Yeah, that means my anxiety was up. So that's a no. So again, that's another little highlighter there of, like, you know, let's take it down a little bit, you know. Let's see here. What else do we got? The collagen in that. Again, this really seems to be a twin of January. With the exception of, I did pay more towards my debts in January than I did in March. So I did save a lot more. There was more into savings. So again, that's where those funds went to. And another thing that I do like to do is, since I already have it written in the book over here, how much I brought in for the month. Well, okay, yeah, not how much I brought in. We're on a different topic here, Sally. See, too many days off of work rots your brain. I take how much I spent for the month, and then I write the total up there. And then I take how much was in each of these categories, and I divide it. And then that gives me a percentage of, you know, how much of these categories came out of the total spend. Let's see here. So the home roughly is going around the 22%. This one I finally started saying, okay, is it evening out? And yes, he's pretty even. The transportation was up a wee bit, but that was because of oil. Okay, so the food I noticed, my food expenses are going down, so that's nice, and that was even with Easter, and I did get something for St. Patty's Day too, so that was 2 holiday meals in there, and it still went down, so that's nice. Of course, Bert's expenses went down because we bulked him up in February. The personal, this went up again. I really, again, need to work on that, the wants and needs. Granted, was I using stash funds for most of when I was purchasing ones? Yes, but it would really be nice if I could save those stash funds and maybe, work on that car, that's why I keep those pages up there. Apparently I need to look at them a little bit more. The medical expenses went down because, I wasn't sick all month like I was in February. And the debt, the debt payments were consistent with February's. They were lower than January, so it would be nice if I could go back up to what I was paying in January, and maybe that would take away from what I was spending on once. But the thing that I like here is that what I am putting into my savings is going up, so that's a good thing. It's just if I could stop using my savings to pay for these wants that I do not need. See? So, this kind of shows like how it all starts coming together. Because, I am in a debt payoff journey, but I don't want to just get suckered in and just focused wholly on debt, because it is this spending right here that is kind of causing the debt. Because, we need to focus on saving money and not spending money foolishly, right? Okay, so I'm gonna put these back. I like trying to keep the table as clean as possible here. But, that's it, guys. Like I said, we're moving right into April. It's the 1st, so nothing's really happened. I did hit a little bit of the bills, but, yeah. Welcome to Sally's Budget Planner, right? And I'm probably gonna go ahead and pay the rest of these off probably tomorrow morning. I do like to try to get as many of these paid before the pay date. Then that way I don't gotta think about it. But of course, it's Easter weekend, and when we're moving from March to April, so we were busy in the planners. But that's it for this week's budget review, guys. Again, I love sharing the progress along with the failures with yous, just to show that it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be downfalls. Yeah, March was pretty rocky, but I'm still feeling pretty good about this. And like I said, I just got off of the I call it debit.com, but I entered all my stuff in, and I'm still on track. Somehow, some way, I am still on track. So that's good news. And again, I'm gonna close out and just say thank you so much for watching, guys. I greatly appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button to see more budget reviews.